I'm going to invite on stage some friends of mine, Aaron, Bryant, and Sharon. And as they're coming out, I just want to tell you a little bit about what we're doing. When my wife and I moved here 7 years ago, we did what many people new to Houston do, and we visited a lot of churches. And you all can just take right into the spotlight. And it was a fine experience, but maybe you felt this before, just was really struggling with where I'm going to fit in, how I'm going to fit in, if I really even wanted to be in church, to be honest. So it's sort of ironic that I'm up here holding a mic right now, but that's a different story for another time. And so I've invited 3 people on stage who are willing to share some really interesting, some very brave and powerful stories about their own exploration of faith. And so I'm just going to ask you all a few questions, one each, and I hope that you all will listen and hear that we are all in process, and we are all entering into this space with a variety of doubts and thoughts and burdens on our heart. And so really excited for what you all have to share. Aaron, in what ways do you find yourself surprised to be going to a place like City Church and investing in your own spiritual growth? Just tell me a little bit more about, I think, this kind of theme of mystery. Like, how are you a mystery to yourself, maybe?
Yeah, so candidly, I never really had any intention of attending church at all. We started coming to City Church because Kathleen wanted to go to church, and I wanted to honor her wishes. And I was like, perfect. It meets in a bar. It has great music. I can do this. I'll show up every Sunday, and I will be as uninvolved as possible. Genius plan.
Aaron's a deacon in our church now.
And so what I found is while it's really easy to attend City Church, it's really hard to attend City Church and remain unchanged. The messages I heard, the community I found here, encouraged me to, evaluate my own doubts with the light of faith shining on them, and actually really go beyond evaluating and being comfortable with them, but actually to embrace them. What I've learned is that doubts are a feature of faith, not a bug. And so I'm so thankful I get to be a part of the body of Christ. It allows and it reminds me that I'm part of something much bigger than myself, which has changed me tremendously, personally and spiritually.
Awesome. Bryant, the question for you is somewhat similar, but I'm just curious, all of us have arrived at church in different ways in different seasons of life, and what keeps you coming? Okay, so Aaron told us a story about sort of how he got in the door, but what keeps you engaged? What keeps you coming? Why are you committed to this?
Yeah, my heart's racing 1,000 beats per minute. So probably a couple years ago, I genuinely felt that I would never really be comfortable being in church and just have that peace that you want to, attend you when you're sitting in a church service. And so to my pleasant surprise, not only am I enjoying City Church, but also I anticipate coming. I try to do everything I can to make sure I'm here. And I think the primary reason for that is Pastor Leo's emphasis, and your emphasis as well, on persuasion during messages, not just admonition or instruction or rebuke, but persuasion, not assuming that the listener is totally sold out, but you want to convince the person through reason. And I find that to be tremendously helpful for me. I don't feel that I have to park my logic or intellect at the door and then walk in and just be blindly led by you guys. So that's probably the main reason why I really enjoy coming to City Church, is the emphasis during the messages on persuasion. You and Leo both do this, where you pull from a very wide breadth of disciplines and subjects to support your points, and I find it to be very helpful.
Thank you, Brian. Yeah, I will pass on to last but not least Sharon, but I'll just say really quickly that I think you've hit the nail on the head for something of what I felt when I was visiting a lot of churches, is I just didn't know if I could be unsold in the seat. And we just want to say, that's okay. That's part of being on the journey of faith. So last but not least, Sharon, I just want to ask you, what challenges do you face? So we've had a couple positive stories, let's end on a downer. No, I'm kidding. No. But as you struggle to make church a priority, as you try to plug into the community of God and of faith, what's still kind of going through your mind, and how are you processing?
I think my story started several years ago when I started just questioning my faith. Is this really about Jesus, or is this about following the rules? And don't get me wrong, I love rules, I love lists, I love guidelines, but my heart needed Jesus more. And so that's when we searched out City Church, and we got into a community group, and lo and behold, 2 years later, I signed up for Space City Fellows. But that doesn't mean the doubts are gone. The doubts are still there. Is it really about Jesus still? Do I belong? Does the church really need me? And to be really honest, there was a lot of anger in those days too. I was angry at the church. I was angry at Christians. I came to faith as an adult, and with that came my story that was sometimes used against me, either directly or indirectly. And when I would hear the voices of Christianity being cruel and condemning and being judgmental, it hurt a lot. And I was like, I don't want to be a part of that. And so I wanted to step away. But City Church has been a great place for my heart to heal. And it's been wonderful because the foundation here is about grace. And there's just such a spirit here, a spirit that isn't judgmental. And so they're still there, but I'm here.
Well, I can't say any better. The doubts may still be there, the feelings may, but you are welcome in this place. We are so thankful you are in this place at City Church, and thank you, the three of you, for sharing your stories. Amazing honor for you to do so.